been absolutely pouring here all day. The boys and I managed to get out to Anthony, the National Trust house at Tor Point this morning, and now the rain's eased off a bit, our friends have walked up to the Maker campsite from Corsand village. We've had a cuppa to check that the driving rain had actually finished, and now we've promised the boys ice creams or cakes as motivators to get them to walk to Mt Edgecumbe house. However, we may have committed a classic parenting fail and promised something we can't deliver. It's just after 4 o'clock now, so let's see if we can make it down in time. In theory, the cafes and kiosks at Mt Edgecumbe should still be open until 5, but it's been such a miserable day with nobody about, I wouldn't blame them if they'd shut up shop early. So let's see if we can make it. Through the grass. Oh no! Okay, you ready for my best joke? It's amazing!
Oh, goodness me.
We've made it through all the little windy ramblers tracks, and we're at the top of the hill near the Church of St Mary and St Julian, and looking over the River Tamar with Devonport in front of us.
That's the road, so... Yes, A38.
A little bit further on, and we're at the official edge of the Mt Edgecumbe Country Park. This part's a deer park, but it's pretty deserted here today by the looks of it. Just a few sheep, and further on we're hoping to get to the Barrow Centre. So here's the Barrow Centre. This is made up of some of the house's ancillary buildings, which have been repurposed for small businesses, and it looks like including a bike hire shop and a Segway centre. Not to mention the play area and the stables cafe. Oh no, it is shut! But at least there's this interesting old garage to look at opposite the stables cafe.
Oh, very nice. You like patchwork elephant here.
There is Lady Catherine's bath chair.
On a bit further, and we're at Mt Edgecumbe House itself. There's an old Anderson shelter here, as well as the usual things like formal gardens. Here's some info about the history of the house itself. And now we're going to head down towards the formal gardens, which we get the boys to wander through. Actually, might have been taking a keen interest in macro photography lately, so it's not been too difficult to persuade them.
Certainly looks like one. Let's have a look. Looks like a big mushroom to me.
And here we are on the other side, and us mummies are hoping that the Orangery restaurant is still serving. But no. Only one more chance for ice cream, and that's the kiosk down in the park. But that's looking quite unlikely by now. Here down at the end of the park is the terminal for the Cornwall foot ferry to Plymouth. If you want a vehicle ferry from Plymouth, you'll need to leave from the other side of the Devonport docks via the Torpoint ferry, and you'll land in Torpoint itself on Anthony Road. The Torpoint ferry is run by the Tamar Crossings Company, the same organisation that runs the Tamar Bridge, and the costs are exactly the same. It's free crossing from Plymouth into Cornwall, and then £1.50 for a car or a small van up to 3.5 tonnes, and £3.70 if you're over 3.5 tonnes with 2 axles, or £6 if you've got 3 axles. Trailers are charged at the same rate as the tow vehicle. So a car and a caravan should be £3 regardless of size, and a 2-axled motorhome with a car behind would be £7.40. If you've got a tag-axle motorhome with car behind, you'll be £12, so if you feel the need to save £4.50, you might want to unhitch the car and drive it across separately. The Torpoint ferry appears to only accept primary vehicles with up to 2 axles, with or without trailers. Coming this way via the ferry from the A38 rather than across the Tamar Bridge can save around 10 miles, but it would naturally take longer, probably a good 15 minutes on a clear day. But that's not a lot for a bit of an exciting journey, especially if you take the bridge and the tunnels one way and the ferry the other way. Unfortunately, there's no way to avoid the crazy thin lanes through Millbrook though if you're staying at Maker or the Hawkins battery sites. So, having totally failed at procuring ice creams, we're heading back up the long uphill slog, back with 4 dejected boys who've decided to cheer themselves up by demanding that us mummies, who are also exhausted, race up the hill. Well, my boys had to push me up that hill as there was no chance of me racing my far fitter and longer legged friend.
Oh, there goes the ferry.
And here we are back on the trudge back. Thankfully, meatballs and spaghetti, followed by homemade apple and blackberry crumble, with those blackberries that the 2 older boys collected the other day, is on the menu. Thanks so much for joining us on our little wander around the Cornish countryside. No children were harmed in the making of this video. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.